Because of that rain that we had, I've been able to turn the pigs. I decided I'd put the pigs back on this pasture. I haven't had them here for about a month because there wasn't water to drink. I wasn't sure they would find water. I think they would have. But that's so interesting now. Look at the way they're going after that ragweed. I knew they would. Now this ragweed, has come on, and it was just starting to come on when I put them off or stopped putting them on here. I just hope I hope they don't get themselves sick eating all that ragweed, because they love it. It's a real problem for gardeners, but pigs take care of that quick. Now if you look at the biodiversity here, this is ragweed, of course. The yellower greens are two kinds. The hair-like stuff is Pennsylvania sedge, and the longer stuff that looks like grass is nut sedge. Here, you can see the way the fruit looks on it. Now there's a whole host of other plants here. I think I'll take a look from above. Now here you can see from above the difference between the ragweed, hi cat, that's Tux, the ragweed and the sedges. The sedges grew where it was wet in the spring and really too wet, and the ragweed has come up in the places that I was only able to get water to later. Boy, the pigs are going to feast on both of those. They eat both of those. And the water hasn't come yet along this trench royal, as I call it, or the Eastern Canal, or it's abyss, but it's dead level. So in my mind, it would also qualify as a zanja. Well, I'm going to walk up and meet the water here. And this is grass. What kind of grass it would have to go into flower before I could really tell you for sure. But mostly what you see here, there's almost no grass anywhere. Once again, you can see how the ragweed has come on. This was all taken right down to bare ground by these pigs as they sort of rooted it up and plowed it up. And I think I'm just about to the point where the water's coming. Yeah, here it is. Right there it is. From here up to the weir, there's water. I was here earlier this morning. That plant, I believe, is water hemlock. Deadly poisonous to probably pigs and people too. That's what Socrates drank, if I have it right. You can see the water's just barely coming. But anyway, it tastes horrible, and they wouldn't eat it normally anyway. I did want to show you how deep these cracks are. Give you an idea of just how dry it's been. Here's a little place that the water's got to get across. There's where it's coming from. Some of this is coming out of the ground still, but there's those cracks that I was talking about, and that's not unusual at all. Anyone who knows clay soil that gets dry has seen that many times. Oh, the pigs like grass. There's no doubt about that. I mean, even people can eat grass. Sweetness down there at the stem. Yeah, I would say that's preferred. And it comes eventually, but when you try to just have nothing but grass like hay or like agriculture does, it's just not ultimately as good for anything as biodiversity. These little walnut trees fascinate me. The pigs leave them alone. They eat walnuts, mature ones just fine. They love them. But they leave the trees alone. They don't root them up. There's one, down there's one. There's one. Of course, I haven't planted any of them. And there's hickories here too, and willows. Those are the three trees that really seem to volunteer that I find the most useful. I'll leave all of them alone. There's a hickory. Here you can see goat pasture, unirrigated. Goats shouldn't have wet feet anyway. There you can see that pig pasture, unirrigated, where they rooted everything up this spring. And then below it, you can see that real green down there. That's pig pasture that's been irrigated. There's Viper's bugloss. There always was some of that here. I'm glad to see it's still here. As I recall, there used to be more of it. Boy, this goat pasture sure shows the stress of this. I guess I'll call it a mini drought. It was a powerful dry spell. Here's Queen Anne's lace. Again, there's not that much of it. I'm suspecting the goats have been eating that. And moss, kind of a sure sign of infertile soil or rocks or no soil at all. But that's actually the kind of soil that goats are healthiest on, really. There's a little bull thistle. When I first moved here, there were bull thistles everywhere. And I went to war against them. Now I sort of know better in some ways. You know, there was a time I would have hoed that off. Not now. I understand the importance of weeds better now. Yes, this is the West Creek. Michael Weir is what I call this. It's a double weir because I had trouble getting the water out of the natural, what do you call it, the natural drain. But that should be plenty of water to get all the way to the barn, and if it stays like this, and irrigate about 6 acres out there. But it's going to take a few hours to get that far. Well, I was wrong about how long it was going to take to get to the barn. The water had already come this far without my doing anything. Now I've cleaned out a lot of blockages, and so really within an hour, or I don't know, little time, it'll work its way along there all the way over to that fence. And then I can irrigate this zanjeria, I guess that's what I'm going to call an area like that, until somebody who speaks Spanish fluently corrects me or gives me a better idea.